The glass facade of Hartman Automotive gleamed like a jewel under the Maryland sun, its massive windows reflecting rows of six-figure vehicles and the blue skies above. Inside, the scent of leather and polish mingled with the low hum of soft jazz, interrupted only by the occasional clink of crystal espresso cups on ceramic saucers. The showroom was designed to impress sleek, curated, and expensive. So when two teenage girls walked through the revolving door in combat pants and simple blue t-shirts, heads turned. They didn't match the clientele. No designer labels. No chauffeur waiting at the curb. Just two girls, perhaps 15 or 16, with wide eyes and unfiltered curiosity. They moved slowly, respectfully. Their sneakers squeaked faintly on the glossy marble floor as they approached the centerpiece of the room, a midnight blue hypercar positioned under its own halo of white light. Its carbon fiber body and razor-thin aerodynamic curves gave it the presence of something alive, something rare and poised to strike. The girls didn't rush. They stood in quiet reverence, their fingers barely inches from the polished glass barrier. "That's it," whispered the older sister, Ava. "That's the one." Her younger sister, Zoe, nodded with a grin of wonder. "It's like it's breathing." The moment shattered as a crisp voice cut through the air. "Can I help you?" The tone didn't carry warmth. The man approaching was lean, slick-haired, his suit tailored to perfection, his shoes mirroring the showroom lights. But his smile was hollow. Ava turned politely. "We were just wondering. These models start at $500,000. The salesman said sharply, cutting her off. "Perhaps you'd feel more comfortable at a pre-owned lot down the road." Behind him, a pair of coworkers chuckled. A customer sipping espresso looked over and smirked. Zoe's cheeks flushed. Ava pressed her lips together, murmured an apology, and gently pulled her sister toward the exit. The glass doors whooshed shut behind them, and the warm afternoon air greeted them like a quiet friend. Outside, they mounted their bikes in silence. They weren't angry, not exactly, just deflated. The kind of deflation that comes not from rejection, but from being erased. But as they began to pedal away, a voice called out, "Wait." A woman jogged up, a sales associate named Eliza. She looked nothing like her polished colleagues, neatly dressed, but warm, unguarded. "I saw you admiring the Vega Excalibur," she said gently. "It's a beautiful machine. Do you have a few minutes?" The girls hesitated, then nodded. Eliza didn't lecture. She didn't sell. She explained. She brought them back inside, not past the barrier, but close. Close enough to point out the carbon weave on the hood, to explain the weight-saving frame, the engineering marvel of its rear axle steering. She crouched when she spoke to them, eye level. Equal footing. Not a spectacle. Not a lesson. Just a moment of shared appreciation. "Would you like to sit in it?" she asked after a while. Zoe gasped. "Seriously?" Eliza nodded. "I trust you." One by one, they stepped in carefully, reverently. No pictures. No social media stunts. Just the silent awe of two young girls allowed to touch a dream. When they left, Eliza handed Ava a business card. "If you ever have more questions, call me. You're always welcome here." That night, back home in their sunlit kitchen, their father, Nathaniel Rowe, noticed something off. He closed his book and looked at them with steady eyes. What happened? And so they told him haltingly at first, then in a rush. They told him about the rude salesman, the laughter, the quiet humiliation. But more than that, they told him about Eliza. Nathaniel listened. He didn't interrupt. When they finished, he kissed both daughters on the forehead, walked to his study, and made 3 phone calls. He was not a man who moved in haste. But when he moved the earth. The next morning, the air around Hartman Automotive held a strange tension. At first, no one noticed the change. The baristas frothed their cappuccinos. Salesmen practiced their smiles in the mirrored walls. But then came a sound. It wasn't loud, just deep, refined, like thunder from miles away. 2 custom Rolls-Royce boat tails glided into view, their bespoke exteriors catching the morning light like gemstones. Their movement was smooth, deliberate, powerful. They didn't stop at the valet. They rolled to the front entrance. The staff stared. Conversations froze mid-sentence. For the first car, Ava and Zoe stepped out not in t-shirts, but in silk. Their gowns shimmered with understated elegance. Their hair was done, their posture regal. Not a costume, just truth finally seen. From his second vehicle emerged Nathaniel Rowe, a man not of show, but of substance. His suit whispered wealth. His gait announced lineage. And yet he said nothing. Inside, the salesman from yesterday stood frozen. Recognition dawning. Regret chasing it. Nathaniel's eyes scanned the room and landed on Eliza. He smiled. "You saw my daughters," he said calmly. "Not just what they wore, but who they are." She blinked, stunned. "Tu just treated them how I would want to be treated." "That's exactly why you'll handle our purchase today," he said. The dealership erupted into hushed gasps. Salesmen scrambled. Managers whispered. But Nathaniel raised a single hand, and the room stilled. "We'll take 5, he said. "The best you have." Only Eliza moved. She walked beside him and the girls across the showroom floor, guiding them with grace, speaking with knowledge. Her every word weighed with meaning. The paperwork took time, but Nathaniel was patient. When all was done, he turned to her again. "If you ever consider working somewhere that matches your integrity," he said, handing her a heavy card engraved only with his name and number, "call me." She nodded, tears threatening but held back by pride. The family left as quietly as they came, their boat tails gliding into the city, leaving whispers in their wake. Inside, the salesman whose name was Jordan sat in silence. HR had already spoken to him. A formal warning, an internal investigation. His record now blemished by arrogance. Eliza, meanwhile, received more than a commission. She received a bonus that stunned her, a promotion, and a handwritten letter from the dealership owner. "For your heart, for your character, for reminding us that greatness begins with grace." That evening, Eliza stood on the rooftop parking deck, the city lights sparkling below. In her hands was the envelope. She hadn't opened it. She didn't need to. The note mattered more than the money. What mattered most was that she had made a choice to be kind when it was easier not to be. And the world had noticed. Downstairs, Jordan sat at his desk, his reflection staring back from the showroom glass. He looked older now, smaller, but somewhere inside, something stirred. Shame, maybe, or perhaps the fragile beginning of change. Above, the stars blinked patiently, as if to say, it's never too late to start again. As Eliza stepped into the elevator, she smiled. The dealership lights dimmed behind her, and somewhere far off, the hum of luxury engines slipped into the night not as a roar, but as a whisper of legacy, dreams realized, and the undeniable strength of compassion. And in a world often too quick to judge, someone had dared to see, to believe, to elevate, and it had changed everything.